Here's what I want to say about Pro Football Focus. Shut up already. Do your numbers, okay? Do your numbers. Tell us what your PFF score for the backup offensive lineman on the Los Angeles or Las Vegas Raiders is, so we can argue about it with our friends, and shut up with everything else because you guys don't know what you're talking about. That's my thoughts on PFF. Shut your face already. Nobody cares. You're dumb. Either get your house in order and be consistent with your writing, or just stop it. So that's that. That's all I got to say. Well, hello. What's happening, all you fine folks? What's going on? Who we got in here for the After Hours Whatever Fest for week 1? Rockaway Archie, Garrett Ham, Brian Lemos. What's up, dudes? New York Jets today. What's up, John, if you're still here? Yeah, man. So Garrett's going to the game on Sunday. How cool is that? Dude, that's awesome. That's stellar. You going with a bunch of people or what? What's it look like for you down there? Talk to us, Garrett. Do you have a crew? What's cooking? Scott Wilson, what's up, buddy? Mr. Pickle Pants. Yeah, now we're talking. Mr. Pickle Pants is here, everybody. Gotta like that. What's that say? I can't quite read it. It's a little small. Deal with it. Oh, well done, Mr. Pickle Pants. I love it. Vervain, what's happening? New York Jets takeoff. It's good to see you too, man. So we got Pete Antonelli's here. We'll be there as well, heading down with my father for our yearly away game. That's fantastic. So we got a few people going down there. Garrett Ham, Pete Antonelli. It's going to be great, man. I hope we have a whole bunch of us there. Brother got me tickets for my birthday. He lives in Charlotte. Fantastic. I was so hoping to get down there, man, because I'm in Virginia. I'd say I'm about between 4 and 5 hours. I'm about 5 hours away, I'd say. So I was hoping to get down to Charlotte, go to Carowinds, which is an amazing amusement park down there, with the world's tallest Giga coaster. It's not a strata coaster, which is 400 feet, but it's 325 feet, called Fury 325, and that thing is bad ass. I've been on it a few times, but I wanted to bring my kids on there. So anyway, but it didn't work out. So that's a bummer. I'm glad you guys are going. Hey, Gitmo Bob. That's funny. I know when we were on the last stream, we got into the, I think that's Ryan's last fantasy draft. So he's got a few teams. So we were doing that at the end. And if you're not into fantasy, I can get it. I get why you want to break off and talk about some Jets, but that's okay, though. Like you said, it's only this 1 week. So it's good. It's fine. A lot of people love it too, man. I'm actually working on a potential sponsorship right now with a fantasy draft league. So I don't know. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, man. So Scott Wilson says, met another Jets fan out here in Southern California. He was much more pessimistic about the direction of the team than I was. And you can't blame him, right? Can't blame him. Well, here's what I'll tell you. For us guys in here, like if you're here right now, if you're with GreenBean at 10:32 on a Tuesday night on either Twitter or YouTube, we're deep. We're into this thing, right? So we're paying attention on levels that a lot of people just aren't, and that's fine. I would say most fans are not like us. I mean, there's a lot of us like this, but most fans, the Jets have over 1 million fans, and most of them are just watch the game on Sunday, read an article or two, read the headlines, and they like the Jets, and they're just as big of fans as we are. Our fandom manifests itself in different ways. We're obsessed. We're always looking and wanting more. But so if you didn't know the details that we know, like think about this. You got a rookie head coach, you know, coming off we were 2-14 last year. 2 terrible years preceded by 4 terrible years, preceded by 3 or 4 terrible years. And now we have another rookie head coach, another rookie quarterback. We got a whole bunch of young guys. No, we don't know anybody on the team except for like maybe Quinn and Williams. Of course they feel grim, right? Of course. It makes perfect sense, right, Scott? So that's the thing. But that's why with us, we're digging into this and we know things. Now, it doesn't mean we're going to do any better or any, than what the casual fan thinks. Even diehard fans, they're diehards too. Just because they don't dig into it and know who's on the practice squad doesn't mean they're not diehard fans. They got season tickets, they go to every game, whatever. But we know Brandon Eccles versus Jason Pinnock, Guidry and Michael Carter. Like, we know all this stuff. We know their draft position. We know their schools. We know their makeup, what types of people we have on the team. So we have a little bit more reason to be realistically optimistic, while knowing we're probably going to have a losing season this year. You do know that, right? Like, I'm rooting for a winning season, but let's be real. There's very, very strong possibility that we lose this year. What's up, Yoshi? That's right, man. Good to see you here, buddy. Jeremy Cravat. Yeah, Chris Bradigan. What's up with you, Chris? It's good to see you, buddy. And Jeremy's here. What's he saying? Friggle D's here. Yeah, man. Zach Wilson will lift us even though that was not asked of him. He is that good. Well, that's what we're hoping. But, even while saying that, I think he can, right? But the trick is to bring him up the proper way. Now, that's not to say protect him like and shelter him in a bubble, right? That's not what we're saying. It doesn't mean put him in a bubble, but it does mean don't overload him. Like, did you see, for example, just one example, how good Joe Burrow looked in Cincinnati last year? And, they were thinking, wow, this guy, he's really something. He was throwing an average of 40 passes a game. So they were asking him to be the whole team in many respects. And what happened? If you go back to pass 40 times a game with an offensive line that isn't exactly top notch, what's going to happen? He got hurt, tore his ACL. Now, we don't even know if he's ever going to be the same. Clearly, I mean, we see lots of guys come back from these injuries now, but we don't know. Dude, that's too big of a risk. Number 1 overall pick. What you want to do, develop that offensive line, get them some weapons, which they did. They T. Higgins is fantastic, and they got some other dudes. They obviously got Jamar Chase now, right? So that's all good. But bringing them into an offense that is predicated on running, the running game, everything's built around making the defense have to run around to chase everybody. They're tired. Like, have Zach Wilson slowly come up with that high percentage plays like I'm talking about. Establish the running game, which sets up play action, man. Once play action's viable, dude, it's a whole different game. Once they're biting on runs, oh, it's great. So I think that our staff is going to do that. That's what I think. I could be wrong, but that's what I think. They seem to have a good handle on how to do this. Nice, slow and steady wins the race, man. Let's bring these guys up. We're going to put them out there. Like, look at our cornerbacks and our defense. We're putting all the young guys out there. We're going to play them probably much earlier than a lot of other teams would do it. We're doing it. But with that said, we're going to take care of them and develop them. Did you hear what Robert Saleh said? And I'll get to some more of your comments in a second. Robert Saleh said they were basically asking him, and I'm paraphrasing here, but they were basically asking him, how do you know when one of these young guys is overwhelmed? Like, when do you take him out? And is it bad and all that stuff? And he said, well, You can look at a guy just because he's making mistakes, just because he's getting beat, doesn't mean he's in a bad place. It just means that's where he is. Now, he said if you're looking at the guy and you're talking to him and he's on it, he's sharp, he's there, you keep him in. But sometimes you look at a guy and you see that, in his words, that glazed look in their eye. And that means they're overwhelmed. They're not just getting beat, like they're lost. They're overwhelmed. You know to pull them. So that's the level that he's looking at. Todd Bowles didn't do that, dude. No way. Adam Gase didn't do that. Adam Gase had specific plays for specific guys. If the guy wasn't there, the play was gone. Like, that's it. He didn't know anything about who's ready, and he didn't know any of that shit, nor did he care. Todd Bowles didn't know that either. So I like this. I think we're going to bring Zach Wilson up the proper way. GreenBean, I crush baseball fantasy, but football never interests me. That's funny. That's funny. Hey, man, right? To each his own, Bob. That's right, Vervain. That's the thing. Most of our fan base are the casuals. They did this thing one time. They walked around the stadium. I forget which organization did it, ESPN or somebody made fun of us. But they walked around the stadium, and all these guys, they have all the Jets flags, and they're screaming and yelling. And then they go, hey, who's the favorite player on defense? And then they couldn't name anybody, and they would do that. What's your favorite wide receiver? And they'd be like, they'd say like Altoon, like seriously. And they don't know it like that. But they want the team to win. They're wearing the jerseys. They go to every game. They watch every game. They're in. They just don't know it like that, which is totally cool. Who do I have winning? This is good. I like you, Mr. Pickle Pants. Say hello to Mr. Pickle Pants, everybody. I'm not sure. I don't remember seeing you before. Forgive me. But it's standing out to me tonight for some reason. He says, deal with it. I love it. So he says, who do you have winning Offensive Rookie of the Year? Offensive Rookie of the Year. I really do think it's more than likely going to be one of the quarterbacks. And in my opinion, Zach Wilson has a very good chance to do that if what I was just saying comes to pass, if they bring him up the right way. And I'm not just as a Jets fan, but I also think it's so funny. People jumping on the Trevor sucks bandwagon his first week in practice. Dude, he's a very good quarterback, and I think he has a very good chance to win it as well. I also think if Justin Fields starts, he can. He's an exciting dude. You don't know what he's bringing. You don't know how well that's going to work, and it might work. You still got Allen Robinson over there, man. Don't forget that. They did some work on the offensive line, So here. So if it's not one of the quarterbacks, I think guys like Najee Harris, I think guys like Jamar Chase, who's struggling a bit in the early going. I think one of those guys, if they have that exciting rookie season where, like, let's say Najee, has 1,200, 1,300 yards and 300, 500 receiving yards, dude, he could win it. Elijah Moore type, who knows? But I think it's more than likely going to be one of the quarterbacks. And just for putting it in the ether, Mr. Pickle Pants, I'll say Zach Wilson. How's that? All right, let's see where we are. I got to back up and get you guys here. There's lots of comments came in. What's up, Postman? I see you. Mikey Mouse. Hello. Scott Baudier. Baudier. Scott Baudier. So Scott says, I lucked out and got free tickets for the Panthers game. I'm taking my two girls to their first professional football game, making future Jets fans. Good for you, dude. That is absolutely wonderful. I couldn't be happier to hear that. That's fantastic. How old are your girls? You mind me asking? I'll try to scan the chat and make sure I see it. But good for you, man. And when you say your two girls, your daughters or wife and daughter, what do you got there? But that's super cool. And congrats on lucking out and getting the tickets. Frankie from Flatbush, you were gone out of the chat. I was talking about your that awesome video you made on the field turf and all that in Denver and all that kind of stuff. That's it. Mikey Mouse, Jack S. Yeah, man. The TikTok summed up the fan base so well. What'd they say? Oh, mine? The reel? Let me see if I can play that for you. I don't know if I can. Let me see. Did you guys see it? Let me see here. I'll try to play this. For anybody who hasn't seen it, this is a reel that I made. A little YouTube short. Let me see if I can. Whoops. Let me see if I can play it for you guys. All right, hold on. I'm going to share this, but I don't know. You're going to have to bear with me here. Give me just a second. Just a second. Just another couple seconds. Hold on. I'm working on it. I'm old and slow. Share screen. Let's do this. We'll do this right here. All right, you guys ready? Let me let's see if I can. Okay. So watch this reel, guys. I'll play it a couple times so you can see it. Let me see. Come on. All right, I'll play it again. Okay. You guys see that? Can you see it? Let me know. What's up, Amarello? I see you, buddy. How you doing? Rich Ritter. Yeah, man. Jeff Otis Brown is here. That's awesome. You guys are the best. Big Green, what's up, my friend? Yeah, man. Let me see if you guys saw. Isn't that funny, Chris Bradigan? You're good. That's good. I'm glad you guys liked it. I'm fooling around with a few others. I'm gonna try to add that little wrinkle because I'm always fooling around. So my wife's like, "Why don't you put some of these on? Just put it out there." I said, "All right." So that was the first one. Here, I'll play it one more time for you guys. Here we go. Can I make it bigger? That's so funny. All right, there it is. There it goes. I hope you guys liked it. All right, so let me see. I'm going to back it up. I'm going to try. Where's the cricket? You don't hear him? Roz, take a listen. He's right there. You know how crickets are weird. When you stand up and walk over there, he shuts up. And then I come and sit down, and he's like, beep, beep, beep. They're all over the place. I don't need these right now. I'm not, when I'm on with Ryan and Matt, that's how I hear them. But I don't even hear anything right now. So, all right, let's see what we got here. So Bradigan's asking if I've changed my stance on Javelin Guidry. My eyes are freaking out. No, not really. I did see him make. There was one play in the preseason. It might have been the Giants game. I thought it was a good play, and I had to watch it a few times. It looked to me like the receiver dropped it, and he kind of did, but Guidry's hand did get in there. So that was a really nice play, but I'm not seeing too much else. I mean, everybody's all excited about him. That's good. I'm not. He makes me nervous. He's the kind of guy I think. He reminds me of Ray Mickens, and not because they're not the same player, but Ray Mickens was super quick, had like just the most feisty attitude. He was such a good player, but they always completed passes on him all day. And he was like right there to make the tackles. He was great. But he was just, I couldn't stand him. I liked him, don't get me wrong. But after a while, I'm like, dude, we need to upgrade this fucking guy. So that's what scares me about Guidry. I'm not anti-Guidry. I'm not. I was hoping Michael Carter II beat him out just because. But if he's our starting guy, dude, trust me when I tell you, I'm rooting for that guy to be the best damn nickelback we've ever seen. I really am. But he just... What the fuck is that? Wow. He just makes me nervous. So, not really, Chris. Dude, Rich Ritter. He says our play action was great under Chad, or awesome under. Yeah, Chad Pennington was the best. Like play action, fake rollout. Like he was the best. He was elite at that. And then on top of that, he had elite accuracy. Now he gets knocked a lot for his arm strength, his arm, and that's true. But his, he wasn't an 80-yard bomb guy, but he could do it, 40 yards, 50 yards, and all that. But that wasn't his game, man. He would just chop you up going down. If Chad was so good, dude, he was so good. It's unfortunate. We lost just about 3 seasons of Chad with a wrist injury, 2 shoulder injuries. It's crazy. It's the worst. Yeah, Jeremy has a good point. And I'll say it. Don't forget to like the stream. If you haven't subbed yet, please do. It's really appreciated, man. I'm going to have a giveaway. I'm going to announce it tomorrow. I'm giving away a whole kit, like a Manscaped kit that I got. So I'm going to give it away to you guys. But I want to get the channel up to 4,000 subs, and then my full-time coaster tour up to 1,000 subs. I'm only 100 away, so it's not that big of a deal. So anyway, I'll announce that tomorrow. Garrett said, hey, fair enough, Mr. Ham. Fair enough. I was saying it's realistic that we have a losing season. Garrett says it's also realistic. It's also possible to have a winning season. I do think that they are both possible, but I will also tell you, I do think it is less likely than losing season. And I'm not rooting for that. But I think, again, it's more about progress. It's more about our team developing. We have too many guys developing to think that while that's all happening, we're somehow going to figure out how to have a winning season. Now, our schedule is in our favor. It is. This is not, it's not the easiest schedule in the NFL, but it's definitely not the hardest. So at least at what it looks like now. So we have a chance. We might be able to squeak through some of these. And I would love to have a winning season, grab that 7th playoff spot. Man, nothing would make me happier, dude. Let's see here. All right, we got a few super chats I see. Let me get them first. Okay, Isaac. Thanks, Isaac. I appreciate that, man. Thank you. He says, week 1 is finally upon us. New season and new era. Absolutely, man. And that's the key. And as we talk about the difference between us and casual fans, they might not be as excited as we are, because when you just open the paper and look, especially if you're reading, the casual fans read Rich Cimini, they're reading, the Daily News and New York Post, and they're saying all kinds of crap. They're like, oh man, this team, injuries. They're still talking about Becton being fucking eating himself to death. It's it's unbelievable. So when you look at that and you're like, who? Jason Pinnock? When did we get him? Oh, he was a 5th round pick. Oh, 5th round pick? Who else is starting? Oh, Hamza Nasruddin. What? Who's that? Who the hell's Hamza Nasruddin? Where did we get him? Oh, he's a 6th round pick. And he's starting? Oh, what a Javelin Guidry. I never heard of that. Oh, he's an undrafted free agent. So we didn't even draft him? Nobody drafted him? No. Well, at least he's the only one of those. Not true. We also have Bryce Huff. He's starting on our edge. He's our pass rusher. He's also, no one drafted him. So when you look at it that way, it's like, and that's why you can see, I'm talking to Carolina fans right now often. They're commenting, and they're like, dude, I don't see how you could possibly see yourself winning this game. It's like, well, I hear you. I get it. But we know our team better than you know our team. So we have hope. But it's here, Isaac, and I couldn't be more excited. It's here, man. Tomorrow's what? Wednesday. Man, we're halfway there now, boys. We're halfway there. We're getting there now. So V-Man, what's up, V-Man? It's good to see you, man. It amazes me how, in spite of the preseason, many Jets fans lowball Zach Wilson's season stats. They think I'm delusional when I say 4,000 is possible. Well, I wouldn't say you're delusional. I would say, I want to remind you that no Jets quarterback since Namath has done it. You know what I'm saying? Let me lower this light. I'm blinded a little bit. There we go. How's that? Let's see. Do I need this one? Let's make it a little more intimate. What do you guys think? How's that? What do you think? Is this good? No. Let's do this. Is that better for you? Can I do that? Because my eyes, all night with these lights in my eyes, I'm like, my eyes are starting to freak out. Well, I don't think you're delusional, V man. And in truth, I think that Zach Wilson is probably most set up for it than we've seen in a long time. I think Chad was set up well for it. Sanchez was set up well too. But dude, the guy, remember, he went through like a whole bunch of games without even getting 200 yards. He would get 200, and we would think that was a success. So, and then you add the 17th game, which helps, right? I think Zach Wilson is set up the best to make that and reach that goal than we've seen in a long time. That said, you can understand why people would think otherwise because, dude, we've had how many quarterbacks, how many teams, how many coaches, and no Jets quarterback has been able to reach that. So I get it. Now, let me just talk about my thoughts on Zach Wilson. I think that, look, my hope is that they bring him up like I've been saying. I really want to see them really establish the run game, but not in such a stupid way like we run on first and second, throw on third and six. Like I don't want to, that's silliness. But I do want to see them establish the running game so Zach Wilson's passes are more likely to be completions. That's what I want to see. So if we do this the right way, balance this offense the correct way, and use our strengths, like whatever the defense's weaknesses are, whatever they give you, take it. When they stop it, take the other thing. That's the way I like to see things done. If we do that, I think he's got a good chance of picking up steam throughout the season and reaching that goal. Yeah, I think he's a good quarterback, man. I'm very excited. I have him going. Excuse me. I have him going 24 for 30 for 296 yards, 2 touchdowns. That's what I have. Would that make you happy? 24 completions, 30 attempts, 296 yards, 2 touchdowns. 1 to Tyler Kroft, 1 to Corey Davis. That's what I see. And then 1 on the ground, and then 2 Matt Amendola field goals. That would make me so balanced. Like I want to look at the field goal kicker. I want to see our running backs. I want to see Corey Davis. I want to see the tight ends get involved. So anyway, but thank you, V man. I do appreciate it. So I know, right, Friggle D? The crickets, they're going buck wild. They're not used to anybody bothering them right now. Like, what the hell is this guy doing out here? This is my time to shine, man. So for anyone who doesn't know, I am GreenBean. Okay, there's that. But number 2, I'm outside right now. So I'm in like a screen house outside. My RV is right behind me, right there. We are parked at a friend's house. Like we're in the back of their house. They have a nice, beautiful property. And so they have a nice driveway, and we pulled back and we're behind their house in the driveway. So my screen house, we call this the clam. The clam is set up outside the RV, and this is my office. And then you can see my son's drum set. Can you see it? Yeah, that's his drums, his electric drum set. You got, yeah, but I'm outside. And there's all woods, like this beautiful property right in the middle of, it's like a lot of space. I think they have 5 acres. So there's just woods everywhere around me. It's gorgeous. But anyway, yeah, the crickets. So let me say this. Number 1, thank you guys for the super chats. I appreciate it. I'm going to try to keep track of the chat. You guys know how I roll, but if you've never been here before or whatever, I try really hard to keep tabs on the chat and try to include as many people as I can. In the event I can't, and you really want to say something, put it in a few times, and I'll try to catch it. If that's not working, the super chat, I will get to your super chat. Okay. At least I try. That light better? Yeah, it's a little better. It's like kind of an intimate night. So yeah, all right. So let me back it up a little bit. No, I'm just gonna start like here. Let's see the green. No, not tonight, Friggle D. No more, not green beans. That's like once every couple weeks, once a month. I'll show you guys some stuff. I actually dug something else out recently. So I know that's the other thing. Raw Power has a great point too. Not only did Namath is Namath the last only quarterback to ever do that, throw for 4,000 yards in a Jet uniform, he did it in 14 games, man. Did it in 14 games. And the thing is, and like V-Man, I was predicting Sam to be the first quarterback to throw for 4,000 yards. And why wouldn't I think that? His first year was really good. Not it was inconsistent, but the last 4 games were fantastic. He improved on every stat year 2. While you can see him having trouble, but it was every stat he improved. More touchdowns, less picks, more yardage, the whole thing. And then last year, I said Sam is ready to burst. He's ready to go off the handle. And as you guys know, that didn't exactly happen that way, did it? So it's just, for me, I find it difficult to I don't want to use the word boast, but like to make proclamations like that. I don't think you're off base, but it's tough for me to say that because I've been saying it for a long time. I know, right, Mikey Mouse? You think I have a lava lamp ready for you guys? What do I have? No, I don't have. I have. Watch this. Let me see. Let's see what I got here. I got something for you guys. Let's see what this looks like. Where is it? Let's see. What do you think? Is that good? No, it's not good. Oh my God, look at that. Now if I turn this on and equalize it a little bit. Nah, that's ugly, man. That's no good. Can't do that. All right, let me get back into the chat here. So I'm going to make this one a little bit shorter tonight. I'm exhausted. I almost fell asleep between when I got off Ryan's stream and this. I literally closed my eyes in bed and I almost fell asleep. And I was like, I started having all those justifications. It's all right. They'll understand all that kind of shit. I'm like, no, I said I would go. So, all right. See, super chat. Thank you, Scott Wilson. I appreciate it, man. Honestly, most excited to finally see Elijah Moore. The fact Zach came out the gate with a connection to him, then built it with Davis. It'll be fun. That's really interesting. I don't know if I've looked at it that way. Like, obviously, we wanted to see Elijah Moore in the preseason, right? We wanted to see that. They clearly had a budding relationship in training camp. Right. And it sucks that we didn't see him. But the fact that he wasn't there, we got to see that connection happen with Corey Davis, which was really cool to see. Now, maybe if Elijah Moore was there, maybe we would never have seen that. And I think ultimately it's better for the team and the overall outlook that Zach Wilson had time with Elijah Moore. He had time with Corey Davis. To really develop that relationship with one another because it's so important, man. And Zach and Corey Davis and the guys, like, they were working off, all off season. They were working together, like hanging out, doing stuff. We saw all kinds of vids and stuff. So I think that's a really great point, and I'm excited too. Think about this: we've never seen Elijah Moore, Elijah Vera Tucker. We've never seen them on the field yet. We saw some practices. We saw them running out, riling up the fans and stuff. Dude, it's going to be exciting. These guys have to stay healthy. Think of who we have coming back. AVT, Elijah Moore, Denzel Mims, all coming back. On the defense, CJ Mosley. It's like, this is exciting. Quinnen Williams. These guys are coming back. We haven't seen them yet. CJ Mosley, we did some. But we haven't seen these guys. And we look pretty damn good in the preseason, I got to say. And not like good in a way like, look, we won every game. We're going to the bowl. It's not what I'm saying. Like, we looked good. We were proficient. Zach was calm. For the most part, everybody knew, like it looked like they were absorbing the concepts, and that's the most important thing. So I'm excited, man. I can't tell you. I really am. I really am. Right, and Brian Lemos is backing you up there, B man. 4,000 is possible with an extra game. I agree. Now I wonder if it's going to have the same kind of novelty attached to it. Like now it's another game. Are people going to go? 4,000 yards isn't such a big deal anymore. And is it now 4,500? Something like that. I don't know. Let's see. Okay. Curly Newman, if you haven't hit the like button, please do. Thank you, Curly. I appreciate that. So, Jack, you ended up winning the hat, huh? Was it a hat or a shirt? That's really cool either way. Congrats, man. I'm glad. I'm glad you won it. I'm not happy the other people didn't win, but I'm glad you did. See how I did that? I know, Roz, it's such an interesting thing with Chad. We've been saying Chad should be our quarterback coach for a long time. And I agree with you. I think he would be an amazing quarterback coach. He has a very likable way about him, and he's clearly very, very intelligent. But for the past few years, he quite literally created a brand new high school football team where his son was playing. So they didn't have a team, so he created it. So he agreed to a certain amount of time to build the program. So I'm not sure if that's like this year or next year's the end, but he's not touching anything else until he does that. So maybe once that's over and if the program is established, maybe we can bend him into coming over here. I'd love him. I'd love for him to be a part of this franchise, man. He's such a good dude. So Riley Wilson, hello there, Riley. He says Guidry reminds me of Buster Screen, quick but gets passes completed on him quite a bit. Yeah, Buster Screen was an interesting one because like you can't take away his talent, man. He's very talented. He's very good cover skills, truly. But what does he do? He gets penalized a lot, and he gets burned a lot, and he gets like he's right there, but the completions are happening right on him. So that's the thing. It's like, I don't know. I want guys that can stop the ball from landing in the receiver's hands. You know what I mean? That's what I want. And again, I'm rooting for Javelin Guidry. If he's our starter, even if he's on the team, so I'm already rooting for him. I am. But he makes me nervous. That's the best way I can say it. No, he didn't have anything on Chad. Mikey Mouse. Sanchez is a little bit underrated. I mean, he imploded so bad here. And the problem with Sanchez was that his team was so good that he was the weak link on it. You know what I mean? Like he was a rookie, man. He was a rookie and a second year guy with all these vets. And so, but he had talent too. He did. Nice strong arm, relatively accurate. He was just this. He was a Momo. He made some stupid ass decisions, man. All those turnovers. Hall before Guidry. Jets forever. I'm not sure what you mean by that, but I'll tell you right now, Bryce Hall is starting on one side, on the outside. And I really hope it's not Guidry on the outside. That freaks me out, man. I'd much rather see any one of the other guys. I mean, look, whoever's playing the best, right? Whoever the coaching staff thinks is playing the best, whatever. But if it is Guidry, I don't look at that as Guidry playing so well he couldn't be denied. I look at that as the other guys are playing so piss poor that Guidry had to be put there. That's how I see it, and that's scary. That's scary. All right. Oh, look at this. One of my favorite guys. Derek Luker says Chris Ivory was an undrafted free agent picked up by the Saints. Then we got him, and he was a gangster. Don't down on the guys that aren't necessarily looked on in NFL as different in college. I'm not down on anybody. I love my undrafted free agents. Love them. I'm all about the undrafted free agents. What I was talking about is from a casual fan's perspective, what it looks like. I love undrafted free agents, man. Don't forget Barry Foster, Snacks Harrison. The list goes on and on. Do you know more undrafted free agents end up being starters in the NFL than fourth through seventh round picks. Now, in fairness, there are more undrafted free agents than there are fourth through seventh round picks, but it's still an interesting stat, man. It goes first, second, third round. That's where your starters come from. And the fourth through seventh, undrafted free agents is right in there. So you never know. You never know, man. They need the right situation. Snacks Harrison was so good. Look at Robbie Anderson. You know, the guy was basically, he was written off for 10 reasons. It was his attitude, it was his build, it was his limitations with his route. He was a one trick pony. It goes on and on and on. The guy outworked everybody else and became a great receiver. That's the thing with undrafted free agents. A lot of time, like I think they see their dream kind of vanishing before their eyes. It's like, holy shit, man, I thought I was going to be a draft pick. Look at Hamilcar Rashid. He's like, wait a second, I was supposed to be drafted. They were talking about me being a first or second round pick the year before. Now I'm an undrafted guy. So these guys go, holy shit, I got to wake up, man. And they bust their ass. They train extra hard. They listen. They work. All that sort of stuff where somebody may be drafted up front. It's like, I'm good. You know how that stuff can settle in your mind. And you think it's supposed to be that way. Oh, I'm good. A guy undrafted free agent's thinking, holy shit, man. I worked my whole life for this and now nobody wants me? That's crazy. So, just to be clear, Derek, I wasn't saying that for that I'm not with you. I was just saying if you look at it through a casual fan's perspective, they go, who's starting? They go, wow, we got two undrafted. Nobody wanted them. That's what I'm saying. And then the sixth round picks, like they were saying, nobody in our backfield is higher than a fourth round pick. Nobody. Isn't that crazy? Now, I think Bryce Hall should have absolutely been a second round pick. I think he would have been a second or third round pick, even with the ankle injury, if teams could evaluate him. Remember, that was COVID. COVID was in full swing. Nobody was anywhere. Everybody was home. Remember that? The country was shut down. They were considering not even having a draft. So I think Bryce Hall just slid. Nobody could take the chance. He was definitely getting taken by somebody else in that fifth round. That was far enough. He's a damn good cornerback. Now, I don't think he's a shutdown, lockdown, on an island quarterback, but he's incredibly disciplined, incredibly intelligent, fantastic attitude, and he's very skilled. So I think he's going to be a very good cornerback for us. Let's see. Slaugo. Yeah. Two safeties starting at outside linebacker. Exciting. Well, it is. But don't forget, man, you look at Warner out there in San Francisco. It's exactly the same thing. They took him as a safety. Where was Fred Warner drafted? Let me see. Let me just check here. Where it doesn't say. Where the hell was? Let me see. He's from BYU too. I can't find it. Why? Come on, somebody tell me here. I just forget what round he was drafted in. Let's see. Third round. So he's a third round pick. A little bit better, but still, it's like, you can take guys and do stuff with them if you know how to do it. Like, look at the Jets, Mike Maccagnan. Mike Maccagnan has a defensive line made up of Muhammad Wilkerson, Snacks Harrison, Sheldon Richardson, and Quentin Coples. He decides to draft Leonard Williams and move Sheldon Richardson to outside linebacker. That's stupid. Taking a guy like Hamza Nasruddin, who was another one that was, I mean, dude, they were talking second to fourth round for him all day. Right? So taking him and putting him at, from just because he was playing safety, taking him, putting him at, weak side linebacker, there's nothing wrong with it. Now, it might fail. It's just funny. Let's see. Jets Mess, what's up, buddy? Aunt Gina's doing well, man. I was just talking to her. She's trying to figure out what game she can go to. Because she's, where does she live? South Carolina. Yep. I know. Well, Ethan Gluck, what's up, buddy? I know. It's only 235 yards a game now. That's it. That's it. I don't know. That's it. That's all it takes. 235 yards a game. Let's see us get it. All right, let me see. I got to scroll down a little bit, catch up. Eminom, what's up, my friend? New York, Nevada. I think that's what that means. Thank goodness our kicking situation is fixed up. You are correct, Brian. Oh, he's talking to Brian. Oh, so Brian's saying, let me get to that too. He's saying, Brian Lemos saying, I'm happy we finally, hopefully got the kicker and punter situation fixed. How great would it be if Matt Amendola ended up being our kicker for the next 5 years? And he was good. Wouldn't that be so killer? Because I wanted Joe Douglas I was saying use a 5th round pick if need be last year. I was. And when we had 1 pick left in the 6th round, I was begging for Kenny Yeboah, but I was also saying, if it's not Kenny Yeboah, just get us a damn kicker, man. Get us a kicker. So if Matt Amendola ends up being the guy, I will be so happy. So happy. But Braden Mann's pretty good, man. Braden Mann, people said, he was overrated. Maybe. But he was on a terrible team last year. It was a shitty situation. Everybody hated being here last year, man. Everybody. So it's just one of those things. He had an okay year. But we see him in the preseason. He's looking good. We got to give guys a minute. He just got to the NFL. Clearly he has the leg. Clearly he has the skill. Joe Douglas loves him. And he was clearly the best punter in the country. So I think we're good. I think we're good at punter. That'd be nice. So Johnny P, I can't tell if you're saying like no big deal, he should be fine, or if it's like Nasruddin, big whoop that it's Nasruddin. Again, let me tell you guys, this is my whole thought process, and I mean this as sincerely as I can. While I'm rooting for every single one of these young guys to make it, the truth is that if half of them do, we're in a very good situation. Very good. And then the other guys that don't, maybe half of them can be depth. Like we're building something here. We're trying to build something that is layers deep. Layers deep, man. If these guys are worth a shit, we're talking about having this group of players together for 4 or 5 years minimum if they're good. So think about, let's say Nasruddin works out, Jamie Sherwood is depth. Fantastic. Let's say Bryce Hall's starter for us for years to come, and Javelin Guidry is a very decent, above average nickel for us. Eccles and Pinnock are probably going to be depth. Dude, we found a cornerback. We found a nickel. We found a linebacker. All in the later portions of the draft. And we got our depth. So next year in the first round, we draft a fucking stud corner. You know what I mean? I'm really hoping to get Kyle Hamilton. I know what it's like drafting a safety that high. I know. It's way early too. Way early. But damn, that's the closest guy I've seen to be like one of those Palomalu, Ed Reed type of influences from that position, that type of impact. Since those guys left the league. I'm telling you, he's so good, man. They're talking about him maybe if he has a If he stays healthy and makes through the year, they're talking about Kyle Hamilton being a top 3 pick from a safety. That's how good he is. So, hell yeah. J-Ruck Entertainment. It's good to see you, man. It's good to see you. GreenBean, we taking flight here in Charlotte. Hell yeah, we are. Dude, I can't wait to see the game and see how many of us go. I know of about 50, 60 Jets fans going. I'm just, I obviously don't know everybody. That's how many I know are going. So if we can get a few thousand Jets fans in there, make some noise, let the Jets know that we travel well, that we're passionate. You know what I really love, though, and I'm glad I'm going to be there? I always love when new players come, like especially rookies, and they come into the stadium and they hear the stadium-wide Jets chant for the first time. Now, it's kind of a bummer that it's not quite the same since Fireman Ed left. Like Jetman, with all due respect, I don't have a single issue with him, but he's not as good getting everybody together. He's just not. It just is what it is. He's a great fan. Love him. But I would rather see Fireman Ed doing it again, just because that's the way it went. Now, I remember days before Fireman Ed, and I was great with that too. The end zones back and forth and all that. But when let's say when Zach Wilson and all these young players, like they're fighting for they're starting, they're young starters as rookies, and Elijah Moore and all these guys, and they come in there and there's 85,000 of us just screaming rabid, and we do the first Jets chant when it's thunderous. I love that, dude. I get chills every time. I've been to quite a few opening days, and I love it. I just love it. So I hope you guys can pull something like that off down there in Charlotte. That'd be good. There you go. See, you know what so go Hangard. That's a good point. So Nasruddin is from North Carolina. So people that would be there rooting for the Panthers are now going to be rooting for Nasruddin. Maybe a good 5, 10. He's got some family coming, That's all right. We'll take it. There you go. So I see you, Johnny. Good. Okay, I got you. You meant it as a compliment. So I'm excited to, yeah. And okay, so now I know what your comment is. So he's basically playing the Jamal position. Like, look, let's call Jamal what he is. He's a very good football player. Passionate, plays 100% every play, never takes a play off. Very sure tackler. So it'd be nice to have that impact coming from a linebacker. Safety, he doesn't quite have the impact 17.5 million should get you. You know what I mean? But it'd be nice to have a sure tackler. Jamien Sherwood is a very sure tackler. Had a rough game against Green Bay or against the Eagles, the beginning of it anyway. But I think these guys have potential, man. I really do, especially with CJ Mosley in the middle there, kind of, being the vet, making sure everything's good. I like it. Yeah, Scott. That's Mike McCagnon. Think about it, Scott. Doesn't it make perfect sense? You have a kicker that is literally the best kicker in the entire AFC, goes to the Pro Bowl, recognized. Doesn't it make perfect sense to let him walk for $3 million? Right? Makes perfect sense. Why would you need a kicker? Especially because you need that money to pay losers like Tremaine Johnson or Darryl Roberts. Absurd amounts of money. How can I pay a kicker $3 million when I have to pay Tremaine Johnson $17 million? Right? Doesn't it make sense? He also let Andre Roberts go, Pro Bowl kick returner. What? You don't want a kick returner? He got paid like $4 million up in Buffalo, I think it was. Let me look it up. Hold on. Let's see. Andre Roberts. So he signed a 2-year deal worth up to $6 million. That's $3 million, dude. So he lost a Pro Bowl kicker and a Pro Bowl kick returner for $6 million when he's happy to give Spencer Long $10 million to suck. You know what I mean? Scott, I don't know what your gripe is. I don't get it. I don't understand. Why aren't you happy with that kind of team management? Oh, God, we sucked for so long, guys. Let's see. Yeah, Myers is a good kicker. When he first went over there, that first chunk of the season, he had a little bit of a rough start over there, but he settled in. He's good. He's fine. You know why young baby Fireman Ed left? Now, I can't speak for the man. All right. There might be more to it. But Fireman Ed supported Mark Sanchez vocally, publicly. And when Mark Sanchez started to turn, a lot of fans were kind of giving him shit. I mean, by the thousands. They were like, trolling him. And he just said, fuck this. Because everybody was miserable. It was miserable seasons. And everybody was busting his balls. So it's like, you know what? I don't need this shit. That's what I think. He's been to every game. He's still there. He just doesn't lead the chant. But as Brian Lemos says, he said Fireman Ed did the chant versus the Giants. So that's good. That's cool. He didn't he do opening day in 2019 too? I think he did. But you know what they did? It was so stupid. They had him lead the chant and they split the screen with Jetman. Why would you do that? So then you got two guys. It's like doing the thing, quieting down. Jetman should have said, take it. Why am I here with you? When you leave, I'll get back on my thing. But there's always going to be egos involved. And I don't know the two men personally. I've met Fireman Ed a couple of times, talked with him, but I don't know him. But it's like, I don't know. And I don't know Jetman from Adam. So it's one of those things, who knows? But the Jets should just sit down with Fireman Ed and go, hey, we want you back. As a matter of fact, we're even going to give you your tickets for free. Because did you see what they did? Fireman Ed had those lower level 30-yard line tickets for a decade or more. He was right down there. Lower level, 30-yard line-esque, 20-yard line. When they moved into the new stadium, they took him and put him in the fucking end zone. What is that? Do you not have any concept of what's going on here? You take the most outwardly recognizable Jets fan that's responsible for firing up the whole place, and you move him to the end zone, the worst seats in the house? Why? Because they can make an extra 1500 on the seat for some businessman? That's when you know. It's like the Jets have been out of touch with things for a long time. Now, I believe Joe Douglas is slowly but surely getting us back. Did you see our media department these last couple of years? Hold on. There it is. No, we've been doing One Jets Drive for a while, so clearly it started. But like over the past 2 years, our media department has been exceptional and making stuff for the fans, putting out daily content for us to enjoy. The little questions as the players come out of the building toward the field, like all that kind of stuff. They're engaging us. You know what I mean? So I think it's happening. I think they're starting to pay attention. Like, we need to take care of these fans, man, because they're loyal as shit and we don't give them anything. When you look at look, I went and toured AT&T Stadium, which is the Dallas Cowboys stadium. I went and toured that this year. Everything in that place is about the fans. Everything. Now, there's different levels for money, and don't get me wrong. He's making his money too. But let me tell you, man, that guy is, Jerry Jones. He knows who's paying the bills, man. He knows, and he's a fan. He's essentially a Dallas Cowboy fan. So everything there is about the fans. Everything. It was so impressive, man. Everything was about the fans. In our stadium, it's a turd. Hold on, who is that? Somebody's texting me. Is that Steve? Let me see. Hold on. Yeah, that's what it is. That's Steve, Sack Exchange. What's up, buddy? He's texting me. I'm like, I recognize that number. All right, so let me see what else you guys got here. Let me see. Young baby wants to know, where did I grow up? I was born in Orange, New Jersey, which is right next to Newark. My mother and that side of my family was all in Newark and like South Belleville and all that kind of stuff. So we were right over in Orange. But I grew up, I moved around a little bit as a kid down in Barnegat, but then I really grew up in a town called Lake Hiawatha, which is Parsippany. That's where I went from third grade all the way till I was, 26 years old when I moved out. But yeah, so that's where New Jersey. I'm a New Jersey guy. Let's see. One Jets Drive is great. I love One Jets Drive. Yeah, Get Mobile. I remember Bruce Harper. And that was the jersey that Fireman Ed wore. I remember, it's funny. I was at a game when Browning Nagel was there and was our quarterback. And he looked really good in Atlanta. He threw for 366 yards, but we still lost. And it just looked like, oh, man, we got our quarterback. The first game back, I believe it was, Fireman Ed was doing the chant, and he took off his Harper jersey, and he had a Browning Nagel jersey on. Everybody was like, yeah! We all freaked out and everything. And then Browning Nagel turned into Browning Nagel, and that's where that went. And then he got a Sanchez jersey later. But generally speaking, Fireman Ed wears Bruce Harper. That's his jersey. Yeah, Fireman Ed's a good fan, dude. Remember, that might have been part of it too, man. Eileen Mary Rooney. Remember the Tebow fans? Remember that? Like, let me tell you, that move of bringing Tebow in was just so useless. Now, if they wanted to bring him in and really create some packages where even like two quarterbacks, imagine having that, like two quarterbacks, or using Tebow in the backfield and just having him throw it, like all kinds of cool stuff. That move, we traded a 4th round pick for him. When he came over here, there had to be a press conference. National media was there. And those Tebow fans came by the thousands. They infiltrated everything. I don't even think Twitter was a thing yet. But Jetnation, let me tell you, it was the most annoying thing in the world. They were there by the hundreds. Everything. Tebow. It was everywhere. And Rex identified that was kind of becoming a more negative, press thing. So he distanced himself from it by not playing him. So he left that as Tannenbaum. I didn't want this fucking guy. And that was the year Tannenbaum got fired. Hold on. Excuse me. So that's how that went, So, yeah, man. But so that was part of it too, Eileen. That's a good point. I forgot all about that. I forgot all about the Tebow thing. Crazy. All right, let me catch up here. This year, Zach is going to have that. All right, you guys are talking to each other. I can't tell. Let me see. So Scott Wilson says, I've been in LA my whole life. Rams were in St. Louis when my fandom started. My grandpa was a huge Jets fan, so I adopted his fandom. There you go. Crazy how it happens, right? That's interesting, man. Why don't you guys let's do some stories, and then I'm going to wrap this up in about 15 minutes, 20 minutes, I think. We'll see. I say that all the time, and then we're here for 2 more hours. But before, yeah, Ayuk, yeah, I went to Parsippany High School. Why, are you from Parsippany, Ayush? Are you from Parsippany? Yeah, I went to Parsippany High, not the Hills. The Hills was from our perspective, those were the Richies. We were I'm from Lake Hiawatha. Our group of kids was called the Dirts. Like we had the preps, the jocks, the nerds, all those groups. We were the Dirts. That's what they called us. The Dirts. Isn't that funny? But why don't you tell me, how'd you become a Jets fan? Real quick. You got a story like that? That was super cool, man, from Scott Wilson. So there was no team in LA, so that's where he was. And Grandpa was a Jets fan. So there you go. Yeah, Mr. Tuda, you want to hear something? Before I got sober, at the very end for me, I was homeless in Newark. I used to sleep in the hallway of the projects for a little while. Not long, but I was always there. I got jumped in Newark so bad they split my head open. I was fighting with all these kids in the middle of the projects. It's crazy scary. They hit me in the face, or they hit me in the side of the head with I don't know if it was lead, but it was a black pipe, and they were whipping me. You know those like when you close the blinds, you know that little like rubber rod. It's like you can like, you know, they all had those, and they were whipping me with those things, man. Then one kid just came in and went thud right in my face. Couldn't see all the blood. Crazy, man. But yeah, so I got a lot of history in Newark, my friend. Lots. But yeah, I've actually spent some nights sleeping in the projects in January, no less. December, January is freezing. I was huddled together with other people for warmth. Isn't that fucking scary? Can't believe it. Sometimes I think about it, man. I'm like, I can't believe it. I used to go to Penn Station and I would do this thing where I had like a little razor, like a one blade razor, and I would shave. I would tighten up my beard. I would tuck my hair in a hat because I had scraggly hair. I would tuck it in a hat, and I had a sweater. And I used to go to Penn Station and tell people I was jumped. Like, I don't even know where I am. I got jumped. They took everything. And people would give me money to get me out of there. Here, man, here's $20. Here's $10. And I was able to pull that off. And I was just walking down the street and getting something. Let's just say it that way. So tough times. Newark is dangerous, man. But I think they're cleaning up some parts of it, but it's hard. You got Irvington, you know. So anyway, I didn't mean to go into that rant. I apologize. Let me see. Johnny P, thank you for the super chat, my friend. I became a Jets fan in 1968 after playing catch with Namath at a block party. Dude, I don't know who's going to beat that. And that would do it. That would do it. It reminds me of a movie. Remember, Joe Namath was in a movie. It had something to do with a train. Remember that? And there was some kid that he threw the ball around with in that game. Remember that? He was still young and good looking. Joe Namath. Dude, what a fantastic story. Johnny P, I'm going to remember that one, man. So 1968, and that was like, dude, Namath was king. Throwing the ball around with Joe Namath at a block party. You're like, this is my team. I love Joe Namath. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So let's see. Derek Luker says, Sega Genesis had one of the first Maddens, and they had the Jets. Had the best defense, so I picked them because I wasn't very good at offense. So now I'm a Jets fan. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. That's a crazy story, man. That just like that. So how long ago was that? You're talking about Sega Genesis, so that was a long time ago. I remember the first Madden. I used to play that one. I got out of Madden probably 4 or 5 years in. I haven't played since, maybe once or twice. But I used to remember like Joe Montana football, and they had all those. Now it's just like Madden rules to roost. But yeah, I remember that. But that's a great story, man. That's really cool. The Dirt's right, young baby. Yeah, man. So let's see. Jacob Finnegan. My grandpa was an immigrant from Ireland. He used to sneak into Jets games as a kid, and I became a fan because of him. How cool is that? So he was probably sneaking in. Where did they play before Shea? It wasn't the Polo Grounds, right? That's the Giants. Where'd they play before Shea? Anybody know? That's a great story too, Jacob. So we got Mad Mertz, Queens, New York here. Used to take the bus to Flushing and walk across the bridge to Shea. in Seattle now, but will always be a Jets. Yeah, right, man. I don't understand those fans. Like they move, and now they're a fan of the other team. Like I just hey, what it is, I don't know, but I can't do that. Now look, like I'm in Virginia. We lived in Charlottesville for many years. That's where I am now. So I kind of adopted UVA, where Bryce Hall's from, and some others. But it would never replace the Jets. Never. And if it was an NFL team, I'm not a Skins fan or a Washington football team fan. Fuck that. I don't care if I live in North Carolina. I'm not rooting for the Panthers. No way. I lived in Miami for 15 years. You don't see me wearing a Dolphins hat. Hell no. You know what I mean? So good for you, man. That's awesome. That's a great story. Let's see. Frank Schultz. Fireman Ed always wore the Harper jersey and should not have worn the Sanchez jersey, knowing he would alienate half of his followers. Well, at the time, though, you can't tell. But that's why. But you're right. You should have just stayed. It's like, you see what I'm wearing right now. What do you think this is? If you guys don't know, what do you think this is? 57. This guy ain't going anywhere. I have a Gastineau. I have a Klecko somewhere. I have a Dennis Bird with my name on it, though. But it's number 90 for Dennis Bird and signed by Gastineau that I wear. We call that one the Dirty Bird. And I have this. Oh, and I have Jeremy Cravat bought me a Becton jersey and sent it in the mail, which I just love. But other than that, like, you just stay, man. For a guy like him who was out front, he should have just kept it cool. I'm with you. But at the time, you couldn't tell, dude. We went to 2 AFC championship games. You know what I mean? We didn't know about followers and all that shit then. It was different. Let me see. Let's see here. I want to try to get more of your stories. What age was I homeless, Friggledy? I was, what was I? I guess I was 31. Yeah, I was 30 years old, man. I've gotten jumped in Patterson, all kinds of fun shit. I was a bad drug addict for a long time, guys. Like street level, robbing people, all that kind of ugly stuff. And now I just sit here on a computer and talk about the Jets. But that's how I made my whole career. I was as an addiction therapist. I was a director of addiction programs. So these are great stories, though. Oh, Ayush, let's see what he said. Yes, the hills are the rich side of town. I grew up right across from Parr High School. So cool that you lived like, yeah. So what, you live in Dartmouth Village? Is that where you lived? I grew up in Dartmouth Village and all those Baldwin Oaks. And I think it's Baldwin Oaks. I forget. It's been a long time. My girlfriend of 7 years, all through high school, lived in, what the hell was that called? Partroy Village? What was the other one behind? It's like over by, I don't know what store it is now. You know that it's like there used to be a Quick Check back there and all that kind of stuff. There was Party City, maybe. What the hell was that called? I can't believe I can't remember it. But anyway, all in those apartments and everything. And then Druid Hill and all that. Yeah, I hung out there constantly, buddy. How old are you? Let's see. Keith Herring says, I was a kid in the 80s in North Carolina. Top Gun was a popular movie, so I became a Jets fan. No way, Keith. That's incredible. That's great. Think about that. Oh, I liked Jets, and I thought, oh, that's a team. Little did you know you were going to be hooked and then brought into this abyss. Such a mismanaged franchise, right? Meanwhile, the Steelers are in the playoffs every friggin' year. The Ravens are in the playoffs every year almost. The Patriots, 20 years, Then you got other teams that are legit. Like, look at the Niners. They ruled the 80s. They dipped for a decade, then they came back, then they dipped, and that's fine, right? The Rams, they suck for a few years, and then they're back in the Super Bowl for a few. Hey, that's nothing wrong with that. I'll take that. Us. 1 good year, 5, 6 of the worst. 2 good years, 5 more of the worst. Like, it's just the worst. But I'm glad you're here. I'm glad to have you. Ooh, liberal Irishman. I'm curious. I'm from Ireland. Needed a team to follow. Jets wear green, and New York is full of Irish Americans. So, bada boom. There it is. Right? Let me tell you, I'll be real honest. For me, from my perspective, every Irish person should be a Jets fan. That's how I see it. It is. Because for that reason, it's the green. It's the green, of course. You know the Irish are green. Ireland's green. Jets are green. Makes perfect sense. And don't forget this. Now, look, I found out I was Irish when I was 25 years old, right? I thought I was Italian my whole life. Then I found out when I was 25 that I'm not. I'm actually adopted and fucking Irish. So this is how this goes. So the thing I can tell you about Irish people all my life, I used to fight a lot as kids. It's just like where we grew up. We just fought a lot. Irish kids were the toughest kids in town. Now you could beat them. You could be a better fighter, but you can't ever get them to stop. And that's the way the Jets are. Just like this tenacious kind of bottom, grapply. That's how I view the Jets. Even though we sucked for too long, still, we're like always we're the perpetual underdog. And Irish folks, tough as nails, man. Always, man. And then when I became one, I'm like, oh yeah, that's why I can get hit in the head with a mug and just, hit in the head with a pipe and just kind of turn around and go, who did that? Because I got the Irish head. Irish and Scottish. You believe that shit? And Swedish. And Portuguese. That's what I am. So let's see. I'm going to try to get Michael says the Jets' chants are going to be wild. 35-yard outs. He's going to light it up. Oh, yeah, man. Well, dude, I'm totally into that. Totally in. Well, thank you, 5011. I appreciate that, buddy. Me too. Me too. If you haven't liked the video, please like the video. If you haven't subbed to my channel, sub to the channel. If you guys haven't seen the most recent podcast, I even play a little guitar for you this week. Yes, I do. I made a little song about what it's like being a Jets fan. Just a little taste. Just a little taste. All right, so V-Man, let's hear this one. I was an amateur historian, was digging up the history of my hometown of Peekskill when I discovered the Jets used to practice there. Then after some more history digging, I fell in love with them Jets. Look at that. Dude, look at this wide array of avenues to find this team. That's why we're the best. I'm telling you, I'm enjoying this so thoroughly. A friggin' amateur historian, an Irishman. You got one kid throwing the ball with Joe Namath. You got a couple grandpas having an effect on their young grandsons. I love it. The Dirts and the Sharks, let me tell you, the Dirts were no joke. The Dirts were no joke. It was a bunch of kids whose parents worked night shifts, and we were just like alone all the time. Grimy, ugly, man. So, follower of Christ, FOC, what's up, my friend? I literally stumbled onto a Jets game one day while flipping through the channels and decided, I like this. That's fantastic. It's funny because you don't know yet. Now, if somebody was to say, hey, dude, just so you know, the next 20 years are going to be miserable. You're not going to win a thing. You go, maybe not. Maybe I'll pick the other team, right? But you don't know. You just don't know. Well, good for you. I'm glad that day happened. I like it. Oh, where'd he go? TA, where'd you go? Oh, man, I'm way behind. Oh, shit. Okay. V-Man, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. Grew up in Peekskill, discovered the Jets once held their training. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Held their training camps up here and reading blogs from people who grew up when they were here and their interaction with the Jets made me a fan. So that's just, okay. Well, thank you for the extra reinforcement of making sure I knew. That's awesome. I love it. I love it. That's so cool. 12 cup. Oh, no, it's right. No, this is Mo Lewis. Let's see who this is. Could be Bart Scott, right? But it's not. It's Mo. See, I had this jersey made. So you can see, I even wrote it. Can you see it? Can you see it? It says Mo Lewis. Can you see? Can you see it? So it's Mo. It's my boy Mo. I love him. I got to talk with Eric McMillan recently. Remember him? Not really, though. Just a little hello. All right, I'm trying to get to all you guys. All right, so young baby says wasn't a football fan until the 7th grade. Before that, my mom got me a Terrell Owens jersey, an Eli Manning, and a Chad Pennington. I picked the Jets for some weird reason, cosmic. Who knows? Think about that too. She gave you the Giants, which have won a few Super Bowls in recent memory. She gave you a Terrell Owens, which could have been the Niners, right? Was that a Niners jersey? Probably not Buffalo. You could have had two teams that will get you to the Super Bowl, and you chose the Jets. Well, you know why? Because our jersey is the sharpest. Let me tell you something. Those jerseys, the Chad Pennington era jersey and helmets are my favorite. I love it. That's this. That's what this is. When Bill Parcells moved, when he changed our uniforms from the green, the Kelly green with the Jets with the swoosh, when he went back to the white helmets, but a little bit different, that week that happened, remember it was Adrian Morrell, Mo Lewis, they were wearing the uniforms. They kind of, mannequined them, modeled them for us. That week, I bought this hat right here. I've had it that long. Since 1998, I've had this hat. I just keep washing it. Keeps making it. I even gave it to my son for a little while and then decided, no, I want it. I want it back. So Hater, what's up? He says, what's up, brother? Great show as always. The more I listen, the more I learn of life. The Jets and GreenBean. You're the best, bro. Come a long way, brother. Glad. Guess we all have. Yeah, indeed. Well, thank you for saying that, Hater. I appreciate it. Yeah, dude. We all come a long way, don't we? Life is weird. That's why here's what I'll tell you guys. You can't put too much emphasis on any one period of your life. You just can't. I know we all do. But if you just remember, like, this is just this, it's not everything else. You don't know where you're going to be in a month, a year. You don't know. You don't know who you're going to be. If my 25-year-old self would have met this guy, he wouldn't like me. He wouldn't. He'd be like, that guy's an asshole. It's boring, And me, if I met that guy, I wouldn't like him. I'm telling you, I wouldn't. I'd be like, yeah, I don't want to be anywhere near that guy. He's so intense. I've been called intense by hundreds. Oh, wow, you're intense, man. That was what I was like. So that's it. Like, remember, nothing is everything. Nothing is everything. Like that? All right, so we'll wrap this up in a few minutes. We got to hear Mr. Pickle Pants. I'm from Iowa. I felt sorry for the Jets in 96 after going 1-15. Don't know why, but I fell in love with the team and have been loyal ever since. Now you, Mr. Pickle Pants, that is what's called a glutton for punishment. He watched us go 1-15 and said, I'm in. I'm in. Now you're a good guy. You wanted to help. You wanted to support. They needed some extra support. I'm with it. I'm a perpetual underdog, dude. I am. I always adhere to the underdogs. Always. Isn't that funny? Always. Doesn't matter. Soon as I could go into a boxing match and so I can go, oh, I think I want that guy to win. As soon as I find out that he's 100-1 favorite, I can't help it. Something happens. I start going, oh, that guy kicks his ass. It's just how I'm made. It's how I'm cut. Let me try to scroll down and get Hank G, what's up, buddy? So he says, I became a Jets fan when Parcells took over from Kotite. Jets started winning and became the underdog story of that year. I've been hooked ever since, right? Parcells, we gained a lot of fans then. That was a good year. We gained a lot of fans. And the same thing happened in 2009 and 2010. Like a lot of these young guys, that other content creators and stuff like that, I talked to them. I say, hey, how long you been a fan? They're like, right around then. Like they were 10 years old when the 2009, 2010 Jets, and it was like that excitement, like, yeah, and then it's just like, yeah, come on, and then it drops you on your head, and then you're stuck. You're like, I'm all hooked, That's a great story, Hank. Parcells did it. Chris Bradigan says, I'm from the Chicago area and watched the game. Jets Bears, I believe it was, 85-86. I was a youngster, loved the green, heard the name Al Toon, and to a little guy, that was your favorite color. So that game, let me tell, was it a Monday night game? Because I'm telling you, I remember it. I feel like I know the exact game. That was the game that Pat Leahy missed a 27-yard field goal, and we lost in overtime. And that was the end of Pat Leahy's career. He was the most reliable kicker for 20 years for us. And then he got sciatica, a 27-yarder. He shanked it hard, and he's like, yeah, I'm useless. I'm done. It's crazy. And then we got to get Raul Legre. Remember? Crazy town. Let me do a couple more. AGM Productions RBLX. I became a Jets follower because I like seeing the journey of a team going from bad to good. And I truly believe the Jets will be special with this coaching staff and quarterback. What an interesting thing. That's really cool to say. Like, yeah, it's like that transformation. You want to be witness to it, right? You want to be a part of that. Like, how it feels, how it happens. That's what keeps us here, AGM. That's what keeps us here for so long. We want to be a part. We want to get there. We never quite make it over the mountain. That's what it is. All right. So look, I see a lot of you guys doing it. Mo Lewis. That's right, Jets Tales. There's a lot of comments. I'm way behind, but this is obviously taking a while. I'm sorry if I didn't get to you. Let's do one more at the end. Here's Larry Cook. I moved from Utah 2 years ago. The day before I moved out east, we watched Zach beat USC. When I realized Wilson would be a Jet, I went all in. I can't get enough of the team and the fan base. There he is. Larry's fresh, everybody. Larry Cook is right out of the package. We got to make him think it's really great here. So he stays for all we need is about half a season, one season maybe. Once you do that, you're in. You're done. You can't get out. But we're glad to have you, Larry. Welcome aboard, my friend. And I agree, man. I think we're honestly onto something. Like, I could tell, like being a Jets fan for as long as I am, and being mildly intelligent, I could tell for the longest time, like Adam Gase was not it. Mike Maccagnan was not, even though I really wanted Mike Maccagnan to be it, in my heart, I knew it. Todd Bowles, I never looked at Todd Bowles and said, this is the guy to unseat Belichick for the division. Never. Not for 1 second. And as soon as he hired Chan Gailey, I knew it. I'm like, you're hiring offensive coordinators out of retirement? Why? Why aren't we getting the new up-and-coming fresh mind? So I knew. Before that, Rex, for 3 years, he had me. I loved Rex. Loved it. And I thought he was like the end of that like old school era, just going to kind of come in and punch the league in its face with his crass, fuck you. That's what I thought. And it worked. We just didn't get the ring. But, even before that, it was like Mangini. Yeah, we had some good years, but I never looked at Mangini as like, he did real well with the drafting and everything, but I don't know. He didn't impress me. I just didn't feel like he was you know what I mean? He never did I feel like this is all happening the way I think it should happen. Trading for Favre, like I was like, I don't know, man. You know what I mean? I never felt it. I rooted, I liked it, it was fun, but it's like I didn't feel like right now Joe Douglas, while I don't love everything he does, he's doing things the way that I have been saying for so long. It should be done. Robert Saleh's doing the same thing. This is a leader of men, but is still an X's and O's guy, cerebral, passionate, yet cerebral. We always got one or the other. You have this crazy, recluse blabbermouth, or you have somebody who's like, he's kind of like a savant. He's autistically kind of, can't communicate, but he's so smart. Like that was the way Joe Walton was too. With all due respect, God rest his soul. But it's like now we have a guy who's both. You know? So anyway, I agree. I think it's going. I think this is it. So everybody, don't forget to welcome Larry and all the other guys that are coming with Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson's bringing us some nice, good new people to be Jets fans, and they're passionate because they love Zach. So there it is. I agree. Liberal Irishman nailed it. So with that said, I said it was going to be a half hour. It's now an hour and 30 minutes and 15 seconds. So you got all I can give tonight, my friends. I love you. I truly do. I thank you for being here. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Take a second and sub to my channel. If you have it in your heart, go over to Full-Time Coaster Tour on YouTube as well. Give me a sub there. You can follow me on Instagram, which is where that little thing was I showed you. That is GreenBeanjetsfan on Instagram and Beanjetsfan on Twitter. And I will see you tomorrow because I got another vid on deck for you. So have a great night, everybody. Again, I appreciate you being here. And go Jets. Let me put on my homer cap real quick for you. The Jets are going 12-5, getting a first-round bye. Home field for at least one game in the playoffs this year. What do you think of that? What do you think of it? That's what I'm saying. 12-5. We're going, guys. 12-5. 12-5. First round bye. Home field playoff game. Guys, it's going to be great. Are you kidding me? We were 2-14 last year. We have a whole roster full of kids. I got a first-time rookie head coach, rookie offensive coordinator. We don't know what these guys are going to do. We have a quarterback. He's never played an NFL game. Mekhi Becton can't stay healthy. I'm telling you, we're going 12-5. I'm telling you, you're out of your friggin' mind. Jetsfan!